Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a great day. So we got a couple of stories for you today. We got a story on Bitcoin being the world's could go up significantly, says CIO of the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock. We also have a bearish pennant breakdown confirmed for Bitcoin, 5 things to watch this week. And then we also have Hive is providing an update on their building. They're building up in Canada, and their ticker is going to change on NASDAQ. So a little bit of good news. All right, when we get into it here. So the first story we got is Bitcoin could go up significantly, says CIO of world's largest asset manager, BlackRock. The chief investment officer of the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, says he could see Bitcoin going up significantly. I like assets that are volatile that have upside convexity, he said. BlackRock CEO sees significant upside to Bitcoin. Rick Rieder, BlackRock's chief investment officer of global fixed income, was asked Friday in an interview with CNBC about his view on Bitcoin now that the cryptocurrency is legal tender in a country. BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager with about $9.5 trillion in assets. That's a lot of assets under management. At the end of the second quarter, Rieder is also the firm's head of fundamental fixed income business and head of the global allocation investment team. He is responsible for roughly $2.4 trillion in assets. A job I would want. That's a lot of responsibility there. Rieder began by commenting on the popular opinion that cryptocurrency is either a hedge or an alternative currency. Regarding cryptocurrency as a hedge, he said, "I am not sure it's really a great hedge," citing its correlation to equities and risk assets, noting that its price can move 15% in a day. Yeah, we saw that last week. He reiterated, "I'm not sure it's a great hedge." Regarding cryptocurrency as an alternative currency, he opined, "Part of why I own a small piece of Bitcoin is I do think there are more people who are going to enter that fray over time. I like assets that are volatile, that have upside convexity. I could see Bitcoin going up significantly." Rieder noted that BlackRock has a very moderate amount of cryptocurrency in its portfolio, emphasized that Bitcoin is volatile. He said he does not see it as a core asset like bonds or stocks. Nonetheless, he sees value in having a small amount of speculative tool in a portfolio. In November last year, he said that cryptocurrency was here to stay and could even replace gold to a large extent. That's kind of what we're saying about Bitcoin. Gold is 2.0. So good news there. Obviously, the CIO of the largest asset manager, BlackRock, is saying that Bitcoin could go up higher. Is a good news. Let's go have a look at some of the more news on Bitcoin here. So bearish pennant breakdown confirmed. 5 things to watch in Bitcoin this week. So BTC spot price action looks gloomy on Monday. It does look gloomy. I mean, we saw in the earlier video that I posted, I mean, everything was just red. But as traders, analysts, and more note, there are practically no reasons to be bearish on Bitcoin. And I see the same thing. It looks kind of like accumulation phase right now. So let's see what they have to say here. Bitcoin starts a new week in a precarious place, below 45,000, below some key moving averages. What's next? Almost a week after a cascade of leverage position unwinding forced the market to 42,800. Bitcoin has erased most of its subsequent recovery. We've seen that obviously. The weekend produced little by way of paradigm shift. Was pretty stagnated, not much movement. And now downside volatility is firmly in place. With BTC USD down 13% in a week, Cointelegraph takes a look at 5 things that may help traders to anticipate what the next move could be. Stocks due for a rebound. Stocks are expected to perform better this week after selling pressure added to Bitcoin's woes in the first half of September. With the red beat behind them, expectations are that equities will now rally, continuing a trend which had characterized markets since the coronavirus crash in March 2020. Expecting equities to bounce this week and provide some relief for Bitcoin, Charles Edwin, CEO of investment manager Caproli, forecast Bitcoin's overall relationship with macro trends has been increasingly called into question over the past year. Nonetheless, shocks to the system continue to influence BTC price action, as evidenced by the Federal Reserve Jackson Hole virtual summit earlier in September. The world still sees Bitcoin as a risk on assets. Edwards added in comments alongside a comparative chart. Almost every Bitcoin correction in 2021 has correlated with the S&P 500 correction of -2% or more. So Here's the chart of Bitcoin, the green and red. This is the chart of NASDAQ here, looks like. So anytime we have a correction here, you can see it coming back down. There's another one here, another one there. So it is starting to look like it's a little bit correlated. On the flip side, strong stocks may serve to keep the strength of the US dollar in check, something which also gives Bitcoin more room to breathe. The US dollar currency index saw a brisk move towards 93 last week before halting to consolidate its gains, a process which continues. Spot price sags further below bullish metrics. Macro moves could be the deal breaker when it comes to this week's BTC price trajectory. Forecasts argue after ranging over the weekend, Sunday saw last-minute volatility, which ended in BTC slipping below 45,000. We saw that it was unfortunate. With spot traders hedging their bets on more downside, there has arguably never been a bigger disparity between on-chain metrics, adoption phenomenon, and price. Yes, we're seeing that where people obviously are starting to get a little bearish on it, but you got all these new folks entering the fray. Not only folks, but you got corporations entering into Bitcoin and everything else. So on-chain metrics are showing another sign where it's more bullish than what traders are doing as far as looking at it as a bearish. So stablecoin liquidity increases. Bitcoin on exchanges hit a 3-year low. Normies awaken. Moskovsky, Capital CEO Lex Moskovsky summarized, if macro doesn't poop the bed, the next leg up is programmed. So macro later added that macro markets had indeed begun the week in the green, and that stablecoins not used as shorting collateral made a clear bullish argument. So stablecoins are at an all-time high and not used as collateral for shorts. Legacy finance opened green. What is your thesis for selling Soldier? So here's the metrics. It's kind of hard to see here, but you can see it where it obviously fell down. As Cointelegraph reported, current estimates eye 43,000 and 38,000 as potential price floors, with a rebound from such levels still possible, despite being well below important moving averages. So we've seen that, obviously, with this kind of what we said here on Bitcoin as well. This is we're at 44,700 is our kind of support here. It could go down to 43, they're saying, so which is right around here. And then we obviously have the 38,000 as the floor here, where it could possibly go all the way down there. September has been historically a poor performing month for Bitcoin, and as such, price prediction favors the real upside to recommend from October onwards. Remember, more often than not, Bitcoin has a red month in September and a big price move in Q4. Popular Twitter account Lark Davis told followers Monday, BTC can still hit 100K by the end of the year. That's kind of what we're hoping for. We've seen this in the past where September has been kind of a dull month. It's usually not a best performing month. Nonetheless, veteran trader Peter Brandt is sounding the alarm, at least for the time being. There is a name for this chart pattern. Anyone wants to take a guess what it's called? He tweeted alongside the daily chart showing what appears to be a breakdown of bearish pennant construction. Dancing with 2017. It's not all doom and gloom when it comes to this halving cycle. Bitcoin this year is still dancing with 2017 in terms of price gains. That's according to data from trading platform Data Center, which this week signals that BTC USD is still on track for the year after block subsidy halving. Dancing with 2017 at the moment, Decent Trader analyst Philip said in the comments over the weekend. So I'm trying to figure this one out. Let me see which one's which. Doesn't say here. But it looks like this is the 2017 or this one 2017. I can't tell which is which. They didn't put which one's which. The chart shows that shows the extent to which May's miners upended progress. Formerly between 2013 and 2017 gains, Bitcoin then dropped to forge a new lower paradigm in May, a trend which ultimately continues. As Cointelegraph reported, a double top phenomenon remains analysts' bet for how Bitcoin will round out 2021. Just like in 2013 and 2017, with a price dip in between correlating to May's trip to 29,000, new all-time high for monthly liquidity supply. A feature which has set last week's price dip environment apart from previous ones is investors' behavior. Everyone kept buying. Yeah, I mean, I bought a little bit. Everybody else has been buying. We're seeing it on on-chain metrics. People are buying it. Unlike the panic during the episodes such as March 2020 of last year, last week saw excess supply dumped onto the market by speculators eagerly bought up by strong hands. According to statistician Willie Wu, every class of Bitcoin investors has either added to their positions or stayed neutral through the recent turbulence, so weak hands sold out, strong hands bought in, and you're going to keep seeing that. People that have a lot of money are going to keep adding on to their positions, while unfortunately some of the people that have smaller amounts keep selling. So whales added recently, minnows continue to stack. 10 to 1,000 BTC holders mainly flat. He revealed Sunday alongside data from onchain analytics firm Glassnode. Reserves held publicly, reducing mainly exchanges and ETFs reducing while corporates adding. So you can obviously see this. Bitcoin supply distribution by participants. Publicly held BTC is right there. 1,000 plus BTC is going up. Less than 10 BTC is holding. 10 to 100 BTC is coming down a little bit. So take a look at that. If Bitcoin supply is more in demand than ever, similar data reinforces that point. Analyst William Clement noted last week had little, no impact on holler patterns. 93% of Bitcoin supply hasn't moved in at least a month. This is an all-time high. Just another metric showing how bullish supply dynamics are. So this is great news. You come to citing Glassnode data. So here's the data right there, 93%. Still hodling right there. Bitcoin hodl waves and annotated charts, source William Clement, up above. Where once was greed, now comes fear. It's all changed for investors' sentiment gauge, the crypto fear and greed index, which this week is posting some curious data about market emotions. The dip to 42,800 slashed its readings from extreme greed to fear, a sentiment zone which lingered all the way until Sunday. As the weekend ended, however, the index added some fresh greed to the mix, despite price action actually falling further. At the time of writing Monday, fear and greed stood at 44 to 100, still in the fear territory, while BTC traded below 45,000. So this is sometimes a good way to look at if the market is way too greedy. If it's way too greedy, you could have a pullback like we kind of saw on Monday. So something to always keep an eye on. Funding rates across exchanges being slightly positive. Nonetheless, do not discount the possibility of a short squeeze, boosting price performance. So a lot of things happening, obviously, with Bitcoin, something to keep an eye on. And then we'll keep an eye on it this week as far as what happens. But yeah, I mean, right now we're just seeing accumulation phase. We'll see if it holds basically support here at 44,700 roughly. And if it can break above the resistance here at 40, what do we have that at? 46,780 roughly. Okay, so our last story here is blockchain. Hive Blockchain provides expansion update and new ticker symbol. So Hive is pleased to announce its investor with an update on its data center construction in New Brunswick, and that its NASDAQ ticker will be changing to Hive. So it's actually kind of good. The HVBT was kind of hard to remember. So Hive is obviously a good thing. So expansion update, construction is in full throttle with our Canadian expansion, which will enable Hive to deploy an additional 20 megawatts of green and clean Bitcoin mining before the end of calendar 2021. With an additional 20 megawatts on schedule to come online within first quarter of calendar 2022. We expect this expansion to add over 900 petahash per second to our Bitcoin production and enable Hive to hodl more virgin coins. So that's great news. Obviously, you either have to expand your facilities to get more miners, or you have to basically get rid of the old miners, some of the ones that are less profitable, and swap them out and update them. So that's good news. NASDAQ ticker symbol. Hive is very pleased to announce that effective Tuesday, September 14th, 2021 on NASDAQ's Capital Markets Exchange, that the company's ticker will be changing from HVBT to Hive. This is great. This will make it a lot easier. So this will be in line with like Mara, Riot, Hut. So this will give it a little bit better name recognition out there in the NASDAQ markets. I am thrilled that we will make it much easier for Hive blockchain technology investors and traders in both Canada and the US to have only one ticker. We are very thankful to NASDAQ in assisting us with acquiring the original symbol Hive that relates to our name. So great news there. Obviously, we're still waiting on them to provide their report for their operations as far as, I think it's their annual report that's supposed to come out by September 16th, they're saying. So, okay, that's all I got for you guys. A lot of stuff going on here. Obviously, I don't think it's all bad news. I think we're in this kind of rut right now where it's kind of accumulation in the market. It'll be interesting to see what happens this week. Obviously, we have to see if things hold true right now at the marks they're at, and if they can actually go above it. If they can, that's great. Then we're heading up higher. But yeah, September is usually like a dull month in Bitcoin history. So we'll see if it's going to be a repeat or if it's going to be better than that. But I'm hoping that we'll at least stay in the 40s in September and then get out of it and come October. All right, that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye.